You are listening to rockslamradio.com. From all studios to the world, we bring you the finest in quality entertainment. So grab a groupie, throw some horns, and settle in for another fine show from rockslamradio.com.
Everybody out there in Radio Atlanta is at David J Rocks the J. Y'all got a little time on Monday here. Got a special band, SPF 40, on tonight. And I'd like each one of the band members to introduce themselves, starting from my right or your left, right over here. This lady. Introduce yourself, please.
Your looking at Jimmy.
Name and number. No numbers, please, on this one. But, any kind of sex information, any background information is very fine.
I'm Deborah Rivera.
Deborah.
And if you want some really sexy information, my name is Jimmy Hinton. Very sexy.
Jimmy, yeah. Jimi Hendrix, #1 guitar player, all time, Rock and Roll Magazine. Yeah. And who's this young lady over here? It's a little bit off camera, but she's here.
I'm just the wife hanging along. Wendy.
She's my wife, Wendy.
Wendy. Oh, man, I just love ladies that are, like, very sensitive, like Wendy. They're the best ones to have on the show. So it's kind of like Scarlett O'Hara, a Vivian Lee type of image, but that's before the mansion was burnt down and then she got real mean on Gone with the Wind. Anyway, getting back to the SPF 40, she said, oh, I won't take this anymore. She's crawling and everything. Remember that scene there? And then, of course, Rhett Butler says, sorry, my dear. What was that? I don't want to ever. But anyway, I heard somebody say. But anyway, I didn't want to go that way. I don't know why, because that sensitivity really touches me. And I know this band's got some great music here.
I'm touched too by this.
Yeah, Jimmy's digging it, man. I can tell that. He's looking forward to doing maybe a little. Well, again, it's pretty much a talk around right now. But if Jimmy wants to do a little acoustic play or a little strumming, we will certainly have room for it. As raw and uncut. If you want to take a chance like that, I know I do quite a bit like that. I just love that because that's where the real action is. Raw and uncut. We had a lot of tracking and overdubbing and so forth to where, you really hear what's happening. And that's where live performance is the ultimate, That's where the fun is. And that, studio work is a little bit boring. But, we dig it here in Rock Slam Land, talkwad.com. We're going to the top. And David J loves to have bands and musicians on, artisans and so forth, sponsors. You'd be looking out here for us. And don't forget, call-in number is 727-493-2055. Now I want to get back with Jimmy and SPF 40. Jimmy, give us a little bit of data and some hard facts. I mean, not real hard, but you know what it means, sensitive facts, and then make it happen for us.
All right. You want me to just tell you about a little bit how we got started and stuff?
Well, you can go back to church time and all. I mean, I've had so many church groups. They all started in the church, doing the gospel stuff, and then they want to go pop, but they get on my show and they go rocking real wild, so they're going up there, So I don't know, man. Anywhere you want to start in your timeline is fine.
Right. I remember when I was just an embryo in my mother's womb.
There we go, baby. Oh, well, let's get back to that egg and sperm there. A little bit before that. Oh, baby, yeah, okay. I want to do Gone with One before that.
Well, basically how we got started. I was basically gotten out of the music business for a while. I just could not make it happen with to make the money I wanted to do. And a friend of mine named Eric Legui, a good friend of mine, I went to music school with. He called me up one day and he's like, "What's going on? What you doing with your music?" And I said, "Not really anything. I haven't played my guitar it was getting close to 4 years." And so anyway, he kind of stopped talking to me for a little while there. And I went out one night with my wife. We went out to Pappas' where she had a band for about 10 years. And the band's name was Time Tunnel. Really smoking band. And I went out there to have my Gibson T-shirt on, and their guitar player, Fred, was it Fred?
Was Bob.
Bob, that's right. Bob had asked me if I wanted to sit in and play, and I said, "No, I don't think so. It's been a while." And my wife was like, "Man, don't be like that. Get up there and play. So I was like, all right, whatever. And I got up there and I jammed out with everybody, and actually remembered how fun it was to play guitar again. As a matter of fact, around that time, I was studying to be a boat cop. I wanted to go into the Fish and Game Commission. And when I played that guitar again, that shot that to crap. So the next thing that happened was my buddy Eric had called me again, or we had been talking, told him I was playing again. And the guy needed a guitar player for a casino gig that was coming up. So I went and I auditioned for this guy. I said, all right, how long will it take me to do what we got to do? He says, you got tomorrow. So I took the CD home. I learned just some of the most important parts of the songs, learned them. Next thing I was on the other coast. Where we go? Adams Mark Hotel was in Daytona Beach, right, Wendy? And then the very next day, it seemed like I was in Mississippi playing casinos. And so anyway, not only that, I got going with a band, convention band, named The Big Idea that my buddy Eric was in charge of. And he asked me to be a guitar player with him. So started working with him for a while. And while I was out there in Mississippi working with my buddy's band, I met this other band named it was called Buck Wild, and my buddy's name was Terry McIntyre, and singer her name was Danica. Fantastic singer and one of the best guitar players I've ever heard in my life. And I saw their band, and they had like a sequence act. And they had like 4 or 5 pieces, but it sounded like it was amazing. And the more I got to know Terry started helping me out with things and showing me how to do stuff. And he was a big inspiration. As a matter of fact, that's how I modeled what I'm doing now, is after what they did, because they played a variety. They didn't do just one type. And they just did a variety of music, and I loved the way they did it. So he helped me in getting that started. But however, it took me a lot longer to get started than I had anticipated. And Deborah, who had retired from music, I called her up and I said, Deborah, I got this thing going on here, man. I think you'd be interested in. And Deborah, tell them what you said.
No way.
Yeah, she was like, nah, I'm not too interested in that. And so one thing I did forget to mention is Deborah and I, during this period of time, also had a heavy rock band, and it was called Redline.
Mm.
And so anyway, we had a backing there. We were getting pretty good known in the area for a short time there, but they couldn't work enough.
Mm.
And that's why I moved on. But I called her, pulled her out of retirement. At first she said, no. I got her over to the house. I said, check out these tracks that I'm working on. And we did like Blue Bayou and something else. And then she's like, all right, I'm in. And it was crazy the way it got started. We were like begging for work. And, whenever we had like 1 or 2 gigs a month, we'd be like, oh, thank God, something to us. And now, before long, it went to like 4 or 5 days a week.
Well, Jimmy, being 4 years out and jamming that first time, that must have been an amazing feeling there, And then really, it's kind of a spiritual feeling, wanting to get back into it. And, you know how music is. It's up and down. There's different things that go on. I got one little story here about one of the professionals. And it has to do with a business practice that, I know, when you're in the music business, people do all kinds of stuff. And the thing is, it kind of throws people's timing off, and also the artists wonder how it affects the fan base there. It goes back to Machine Head, and that was on February 1st. The frontman shocked at music business practice. This is from antimusic.com. Rob Flynn, who is the frontman for Machine Head, says current practices in the record industry aren't helping prop up physical sales. And this is what he means by that, admitting he personally prefers digit products for reasons of portability. But then Flynn reports, I have a ritual I've done for every release where the first day I go in and buy our album. I was stunned when I went into Amoeba Records in Hollywood, California, and saw our regular album not on sale the first day, but full price for $16.99. And this is his philosophy about that. It's wrong. You reward the diehards for going out there and supporting you the first day. That means the major fans, who really are following Machine Head, they want to know that first day of release, then they're going to go out and buy because they're the ones that really, support the band and have been supporting the band for a long time, But what do they do? Instead of putting it on sale, and that is a great idea for your diehard fans because they keep coming back, putting it on sale. They were trying to bilk the diehard fans in that. And again, this is the front man for Machine Head's saying this, and that it's Rob Flynn. He didn't like that business practice. Try to get too much and not support the fans in that. And so again, people get out there. I believe that was February 1st when this report came out in Anti-Music. So that is really hot. That is a hot thing. And he says it should be not only a week of sales, but maybe a month. It's a thank you. And we are pissed fans weren't stoked. They weren't stoked because the sales were down because there was no benefit for the diehard fans, and they went to complete price. And, of course, that's Hollywood, California. And you're downtown in Hollywood on the Strip, man. You go in there and you buy a T-shirt for $200. It's just a T-shirt, but it's on Hollywood, California, and Sunset Strip. So, it's highly expensive. So we need to watch our business practices in the music industry. I'm sure Jimmy's coming across a lot of, he's talking about only a couple gigs a month and that. And I know I come across a lot of, but I'm in a situation where I don't really. It's not a real big issue to me. The more the better. The more money the better. But I don't like to work too hard too because I know if I got to carry all my equipment and set up, then I got to play for 4 hours and that and take it down. Man, I want some compensation, especially if I got to drive up to Wesley Chapel or Hudson somewhere. So I'm looking at a gig that suits my needs in that because I'm not playing all the time. Like I'm going down to Jack's Joint Down for tonight. They've got a group of people down there that does like an opera and classical music. But I'm going to try to set the stage for a little Satisfaction. I do a great imitation of Satisfaction by Mick Jagger and the Stones and that. And I'm just wondering if that kind of clientele there with the new owner of Jack's Joints is really going to appreciate the vibes that I put out in that rock and roll song. But the one thing that I want to do there is to record that song. That's the benefit for doing that. That's a freebie down there. That the lady that runs the open mic, I don't remember her name, but I will mention it next time, especially if it's done well tonight after the show, that the recording is done free and it's sent to me through the computer system, and then I can analyze it and see what I'm doing right and see what I'm doing wrong. I like to do that. And Jimmy, I know how you like that, and I don't want to leave out Deborah over there. I know she has a lot to add to it. But Jimmy, what do you do? I mean, what do you play in the band? Do you write your own songs? What do you do? Covers or what?
Well, we're doing all covers right now, but I have a lot of stuff that I had priorly been working on, and I've got some great riffs and stuff that we are going to chain together because we've had a lot of people requesting, CDs from us. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I've got some plans for this coming year to do some work.
So you exclusively play guitar, lead guitar, acoustic guitar, solid body,
yeah,
what?
Lead guitar. I play my favorite guitar right there is that Gibson Les Paul sitting in there.
Oh, man. Oh, God, we got to see. Couldn't you bless the show with the Les Paul, man? I mean, I love it. Les Paul is a magnificent. Is it a standard?
Yeah, it's a standard. It's the traditional plus
is it the Sunburst, the 57?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, a 57. That's a Jimmy Page model, and Led Zeppelin played huge on that 57 model there.
I was influenced heavily by Page and Ace Frehley and all those Les Paul players. I always loved those guitars.
Wow, man, that's amazing. I got an article about that too. I tell you, I don't know where I don't do articles sometimes, but other times I do articles, and it really fits right in here. It has to do with the Who. And it has to do with the Who's presentation. That, of course, is Pete Townshend received a Les Paul award that was noted by some of the greats. That's Mick Jagger, Paul McCartney, and the Animals' Eric Burton paid tribute to Pete Townshend when the rocker picked up the prestigious Les Paul Award at the 28th Annual Technical Excellence and Credibility Awards in California on Friday. A lot is happening in California this month, man, Pete. I am telling you, man, with Dave Grohl and a lot of other ones coming on. And so, Pete Townshend, a major influence, and the Who's going right back on tour. Oh, we got 5 minutes. I want to showcase my guest tonight here, and that is, of course, with the band at the SPF. And there was, and what was that?
SPF 40.
Oh, man. What's that 40 mean? That's a real interesting name. How'd you get that anyway?
Well, we were trying to book a gig, and, I I called the place. I said, do you have any openings? And they're like, yeah. Do you have a band name? And I panicked. I was like, oh, excuse me for a minute. I got to take this call. Call you right back. And I was thinking about these band names that had been going through my mind. And as I was watching the TV or playing in the background, it said, try this new sunscreen with SPF 30 in it. And I said, SPF 30, SPF 40. I said, SPF 40. So I immediately called her back. Said, yep, the band name's SPF 40.
That sounds like cleaning agent, WD-40, man. A little grease. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, you dig that. Okay. Well, that kind of blends in with the article about Elvis, in those days. But this is a real interesting article about Elvis. Has to do with his crypt, and that's kind of odd. But let me tell you, Elvis's crypt was pulled off of auction. The fans denied or demanded that the empty burial place be kept as a shrine. The crypt will not be auctioned as reported by the AP. As Julian's Auctions had announced it in May, the empty crypt in Memphis, where Elvis and his mother lay for 2 months before their reburial on the grounds at Graceland Estates, would be part of this Sunday's Music Icons auction, with a bid starting at $100,000 for a crypt. That's the starting bid, right? But the fans were outraged across the world. They were displeased by the potential slight and demanded that the whole burial site and crypt be preserved as a shrine to the late king's memory. And that comes from Darren Julian of Julian Auctions. So that crypt will be preserved in Memphis. All right, we're wrapping up here on the David J. Rocks the J Show. We want to have final comments from our guests here, SPF 40, Jimmy and Deborah, and of course Wendy here. If she wants to say any, that's Jimmy's wife and that. Make sure I don't want to leave you out either. Say hi to the folks. Okay. All right, from left to right. Take us on home.
Take you on home. Well, thank you for letting us be on the show today. We appreciate it. Deborah and Wendy and Jimmy from SPF 40, come out and see us. We're around town.
Tell them a little bit about yourself.
About myself?
Yeah,
I thought we were closing it up here. About myself. I've been in Alabama, just like you were talking about earlier, for a long time and experiencing ups and downs. And that's kind of why I said no more Jimmy. But
are you the vocalist in that player?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, vocalist, lead vocalist.
Yeah.
Jimmy. Jimmy does vocal too, probably with you, and
does some good
guitar
harmony.
lead. Very good, very
Yes.
good. All right, Wendy, how about you now? We want to get you in here.
I'm just
Scarlett.
a promoter of the band.
Oh yeah, man, she's the backbone, man. She must be the number lady, man. I tell you what, the
she is
business.
that.
That's a hard hitter. The ones that are quiet, you got to watch out for, baby. I tell you what. Goes back to that. Oh yeah. Okay, well, we're getting down here, and we want to have some final comments on the Dave J. Rocks the J show here with SPF 40, local band. And how long you been in Tampa Bay? I know Deborah's from Hudson, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I live in that.
How long have we been here, Wendy?
13 years.
Yeah, about 13 years.
Wow, man, it's a lot more than me, man.
I do want to mention this, though, that we do have a website. It's spf40band.com, and we're also on Facebook. So we would love as many people to check it out, like us as possible. And come out and see one of the shows. I think you'll have a good time.
How will we find you by your band name on Facebook?
Yes, sir. You can go to pages and find SPF 40.
Excellent.
And like I said, the website's got stuff on there. And if we get a copy of the show, I'm going to put it on the website too.
Excellent, excellent. And that's a major way. I know I get a lot of performers from Facebook, and that most of them I play with firsthand and on stage. But there's a lot of them, like Lauren Mitchell Band out of Sarasota, amazing band, amazing blues.
I love that girl.
Lauren Mitchell. Oh man. Did you see her at the Palladium and that?
I saw her over at the Smokehouse, and that girl blew my mind, man. That band was amazing. The guitar player, everything. There was nothing I did not like about that band.
All right, we're wrapping it up here on Dave J. Rocks the J radio show. My guests have to do with SPF 40 band here in Tampa Bay. And that's Deborah, Jimmy, and Wendy here. Wendy being Jimmy's wife here. So, again, you see them around town. Make sure you get out there and experience the vibes here. All right, and we're winding it down. Okay, take us away there. My sound guy, Adam, man. Yeah, finish it up.
Mama put my guns in the ground. I can't shoot them anymore. That long black cloud is coming